Here's the bat. Do my rolls do sounds yet? No. I feel it. My controller vibrates, and that makes me feel like I can hear it when I can't. But no, it's still silent. I think you can get away with this. Yeah, he can't hit you right down here, right? I think there's an item down here or something. It might be a lizard. Is it a lizard? Nah, it's this thing. The shot of the archstone. Full moon grass. I'll take it. Oh, hey. Over there would be the Tower Knight, and that's the level leading up to the Tower Knight. It's clearly like a low-res version. It's definitely not, you're not looking at the environment that you're going to be in later. It's clearly like a super low-res, like, model. It's like looking at the scale models they use, when they're like going to take the Titanic and break it in half in the movie and stuff like that. It's like, I believe those are all models. Actually, it's kind of funny looking because it's so clearly a low-res model that it looks like you're looking at like a clay figurine that's supposed to represent the actual background. I'm safe, right? 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 Ah! Go, go, go! I'm not at all familiar with his attack range. Oh, that means you can do this. No, you can't. See, this is how little and how inconsistently this mechanic is incorporated into this game that you can't even do it here. And there's clearly a ledge over here that you might want to walk on. There's no item there, so it's not used, but still, you would think that maybe they'd want to bait you into doing it. Interesting to realize that those are two different dragons. The blue one and a red one. But the blue one's a problem because it's swinging its tail over the items, and the red one's a problem because it's shooting its fire over the items. But you can bait him, I believe. Wow, I just sort of stopped blocking and took it, apparently. Good job, me. So where's the dragon? Peacing out. Oh wait, did I not trigger him to attack? Oh no, there he is. Oh, he comes back fast, doesn't he? I'm out. Deuces. Goodbye. Oh my god. It's a lot of fire. You can bait him back and forth to get the items. I don't remember if any of the items are actually things you should care about. I imagine the very last one under his tail, the biggest pain in the ass, is probably kind of worth getting. But yeah, there's a handful of items. Got myself a couple healing items. Add to the pile. Use one of those right now, actually. They're pretty small. Like chugging Pez. Did he not even... He didn't even attack, did he? He just walked up here and, like, looked at it. And that was it. Where you at, buddy? Wait, he has to, like, swoop all the way back around, doesn't he? Yeah. Weird that he flies that way first. He flies away, then flies this way again. Is he leaving already? Wow, they actually kind of make it a pain to trigger him, don't they? Shoot your fire, dude. That's all I want from you. Please? It's an interesting thing that he's on the cliff and he flies away. So he flies into the background and then he flies over here. I think that's them resetting the model and animation. Is he has to fly away, and instead of just flying to the two locations, he flies away between them also. I don't know how far he goes. I don't remember. Ah! Ah! Does he loop again? So he'll keep looping even if he's not even if he's not even... I'm not in the range for it. Because I believe he's the same dragon from the next region, and he just loops in both zones because he's just mad at you. He's just a real mad dragon. That's why he's red. Oh, no, you're losing valuable time here. Shit. Shit. That was a shield of some kind. Fuck it, going for it. Ow. Oh my god. I died. I didn't remember that, as it turns out. Whoops. I don't remember if I've gone for it before or not, but the tail just fucking one-shots you. It just comes down, it's like, no, delete. Delete character, you're dead now. Goodbye. Holy crap. What did I get, though? I probably got a flame-resistant shield. Purple flame shield, that's the one. 100% damage reduction. Requires 22 strength. Oh, right, this is when we're using these nonsensical symbols for everything that didn't make any sense implicitly. So yeah, obviously, the squiggle that overlaps the other squiggle is strength. Meanwhile, the two opposing squiggles, those are dexterity. But the flower squiggle, I think, is magic, while the wings-shaped squiggles, I guess, are faith. And then the red ones bleed, and the purple ones plague. And no, the purple one's poison, and the green one's plague, which obviously, yeah, how could you not guess those ones? And then other one does something else. And let's see. There's no... I don't think there's a way for it to tell you what they are either. In Dark Souls, they add the option to press the select button, and then you can highlight every individual interface element to find out what they are. In this game, you kind of have to search for a bit to find the one place where they're next to a word. So here you can see that the flower-shaped one is magic, and the wing-shaped ones are faith. I actually don't know if it tells you what that other stat is. Let's see here. Like, it has special effects. One of the special effects is that one white symbol under faith, which is a vertical squiggle. And it's like, then you have the fun thing of like, how do I find the vertical squiggle? Good question. And obviously, yeah, endurance is a sideways 3 over a U, and and vitality and intelligence. Yeah, all the symbols make perfect sense. They're not completely made up. I don't know, maybe they look like Japanese symbols, but for me, I'm just like, wow, they just made random things. Fire actually looks like fire. It's 3 fire symbols. 3 fire squiggles next to each other. Like, yeah, obviously slash is vertical and pierce is horizontal. What are you, stupid? Those all make perfect sense. Oh, right, the world tendency mechanic and the player tendency mechanic, which is going to be extra turned down by the fact that I'm playing this in in offline mode now. But what was interesting is they used to have the world tendency events, where it'd be like, this week it's a white world tendency, and this week it's a black world tendency, and like that would affect the level. The levels themselves would change little elements of them about like, this path is blocked now, this door is unlocked, and stuff like that based on the world tendency, and that was like a really cool mechanic. And it's only really cool on paper though, because in practice it's really hard to actually encounter the changes that happen from world tendency changes, and the vast majority of it is only ever encountered via active manipulation of it on purpose, which makes the whole thing frustrating, especially when the servers die, for example. Let's see, what else did I get? Got 2 mail breakers, because I started with one, right? Got a bastard sword, got a scimitar. That's it for the basic stuff. How does bastard sword compare to long sword? It does 95. It needs 18 strength, so I can't use it yet. What is my strength at? 14. Not doing great at the moment. Let's see, did I find myself another ring or anything? Whoa! Ooh. Ring of Great Strength raises maximum equip burden. So my equip burden is 60. And it was 40, I want to say? It was 40. Wow, that's a really big change, actually. That's the Havel's Ring, I guess. Then there's Fire Resistance and Thief's Ring. Enemies are less likely to detect you. So it's not a bad little gamble I did there. A bit more equip load and I'll be able to roll without fat rolling. Don't know how to make myself roll with audio again, though. That might never happen again. RIP audio. Oh, he got me. That wasn't very nice. I gotta get my stuff back. I never opened the shortcut because I died on the dragon. There's the two corpses. The old ragged robes, so caster set, and the jade hair ornaments, which you can give to the equipped dude, the stockpiled Thomas, because we're in a universe where people we're in a universe where people use their names as their jobs, just like in real life back in the day when people used to be like Smith and it meant they were Smith. They were a Smith, not just that they happened to be named Smith by coincidence. But they have it backwards, which probably makes sense actually, because I believe that the Japanese naming, like the first name, last name system is like the opposite of what we have, isn't it? I think they have it the other way around, so it actually makes some sense that they call him Stockpile Thomas instead of Thomas Stockpile, because he would actually, like, well, it doesn't necessarily make sense because it means it would be a localization issue that wasn't fixed, but I can see where it might come from if it has the same root. Well, the good news is the game hasn't had any more performance problems, so it seems to be working. Fuck. My body is over there. If I want it back, I gotta lure him over here. This works out though, because I can lure him over here, he'll kill all the dudes, then I'll lure him back over there so he won't be attacking me while I deal with running past the remaining dudes to then be out of the fire zone. So luring him back and forth is actually the best way to go. Hey Durgan. Durgan, come over here. Yes, keep trying. It'll definitely work the 12th time. Good plan. Fire. 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 No. Damn it. Wow, he's finicky as shit. It works as intended if you don't know he's coming and you're just gonna get blindsided by a giant dragon and get burned. But when you're actually trying to bait him, it's like he's actually really finicky. Even when he gets into position, he won't actually launch fire unless you're standing there for like 30 seconds plus. Come back, man. You awkward ass dragon. Here, I'll stand on this side of the line so you really get baited. There you go. Because when you know what's gonna happen, you're all like, oh my god, he's roaring at me. It's time to go. But no, that's a fake out. He's actually gonna do a fire thing as the second thing after that. Now I've got to book it because he's already on his way back. Or he's doing it again. Did he do it again? Souls are returned. Oh, I looked for the animation of my number going back up and it didn't happen. I think it just instantly turns into 3940. Huh. I have to make sure he lands over here first. Is he coming back? There we go. Yeah, in later games when you pick up souls, the soul counter is like plus thing, and it's after the main animation of saying it's retrieved, so you can see how much you got back. I think it just instantly switched back. This is the game where you're like afraid to retrieve your souls or beat a boss or win a duel or anything because it'll like fill your entire screen with a giant black background and overblown text while the game might still be asking you to fight something because a fight might still be happening in that moment where you're like dying. Of course I died like 5 feet away from the freaking switch I need to pull. There we go. Oh, Jesus. I do really like the Phalanx demon level still, this Boletarian Palace 1-1. I still quite enjoy the way it's set up, where it keeps, oh my god, where it keeps folding into itself and everything. Oops. I haven't played it yet, but my understanding is that the game, the Surge, is supposed to basically, like, the entire game is supposed to be like Boletaria Palace 1-1, where it keeps folding back to one point over and over and over and over again during each level. Just it all keeps going back to a singular hub, basically. And that's supposed to be more or less how it's set up. Which interests me, because I like the level design of this area. So I like the idea, I do like the idea of a game doing that a lot. Which Dark Souls does sometimes, but not other times. Because Dark Souls has a weird thing where it's praised for its level design in the first half of the game. Well, the game as a whole is praised for its level design, but usually when people are thinking about the first half of the game. And then the second half of the game just contradicts everything people say about Dark Souls level design and just isn't true. Like, what people say about it just stops being true for the entire second half of the game. It's such a weird thing to realize in retrospect, that the narrative focuses so heavily on a specific part of how the game was made and not the rest of it. Ow. Is there a dude here, or like an ambush, I think? I feel like there's an ambush here. Serpentine. Definitely feels like an ambush spot that you'd expect, just because it's an item at the end of a long hallway that's a dead end, so you expect to turn around and see like a ninja behind you. Howdy. Whoop. Nope. Ow, dick. Ow, dick. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Ow. Oh my god, we're having terrible timing here where every time I start an attack, they're also attacking me. Wow, crescent moon grass is like baby food. It's like, I have a chunk of my health bar missing and it still only heals like an eighth of what I have. That's amazing.
Die, furniture. You don't belong in this world.
I was about to say, like, it is not by my hand that I was once again given wood, and I'm like, that implies completely different... Wow, that guy just died. No, my item... Oh. I'll see you later when I get down there. Yeah, you start replacing words in that sentence with different things, and don't think about it too much. You're like, oh, this is the innuendo is what I'm doing now, huh? There's a... Like, do you have the right type of weapon that pierces this guy's armor? Because if not, you're gonna be here for a long time! Because you can't get behind him! Not this one! I think they're trying... I don't know what they're going for here. Are they trying to teach you the value of getting behind him? Because of how... by showing... having you be stuck in front of him for a whole fight? Or did they just give me fire bombs up there? Because I think they're weak to fire bombs. And so maybe they want you to test that. Because you don't need to make a level environment that teaches you to go behind him, because the enemy design itself already teaches you that. You don't have to make the fight be in a hallway that just punishes the player. Like, this is already like, oh yeah, you'll hit him in the front and you won't be able to hurt him very well, so then you'll go behind him. I don't think they needed to make that guy be in a hallway to teach you how to fight this guy. Like, just fighting that guy in the open would have been like, oh, I hit him and it was shitty, but he's clearly a shield, so I guess I should hit him behind. Interestingly, the Phalanx enemies are like teaching you how to fight a significant percentage of enemies throughout all of Dark Souls. Period, basically. And it's a design they tried to subvert that in Dark Souls 2 with the Turtle Knights, but it didn't really work. The Turtle Knights spun too fast, so they were always facing you no matter what, pretty much. And you only really would make the mistake of trying to backstab them once. So most of the Turtle Knights just weren't as interesting as I think they were meant to be, unfortunately. Which is too bad. Okay, so time to make sure that fire bombs are equipped. I only have 4. Dang it. I don't want to use late moon grass yet, I don't think. Let's use up the bad stuff first. Turpentine's not a terrible choice. I think they're also weak to that. Because it's just fire in general. It's an easy enough fight that you don't necessarily need to specialize in getting certain items to take it down, but it doesn't hurt, because it's a busy-ass fight with way too many enemies in it. I love the setup for this boss. Oh, Jesus. Oh, hi. How you doing? God, you breaking minor debris sounds like a rocket taking off. That is intimidating. There we go. Is the gate open yet? Nah. I think that opens when you have sufficiently light enough world tendency, which probably won't happen until I defeat this boss. That guy just walked into a fire and killed himself. Like, all this hype for one boss fight. You go to the opening area, and you see this giant gate that's closed, and you're like, I want to go in the giant gate, but it's closed, so you can't. So you gotta go all the way there, and then you get all the way back, and it's like, oh, we're here again, by the giant gate, which is still closed. I guess I'll go back up. Then you loop all the way around, and you get past multiple dragons, just to get here, and then you pull the lever, and fucking this nightmare spear comes out that's covered in spikes, and I think one of the biggest tricks they do here is that, first of all, you don't get to see what the boss fight looks like still. You can't see it past the fog, which you've never encountered until now. No, we had fog once before, I think. But this is a big case of encountering fog at the very least. And it comes shooting out of here, and you're like, oh shit, a spear. Okay, so there's a bad guy in there, and he throws spears, apparently. So that's a good setup. But they use a perspective to screw with you, because you don't know until you walk out here, and you have your character to compare it to, that this spear is fucking massive. It does not look that big when you see it in the cutscene, because there's no person next to it to tell you how big it is. So it's like, oh, okay, they have a spear, and it's spiky, it's kind of intimidating. And they throw it hard enough to pierce stone and have it stuck in there. But no, this is how big my person is next to the spear. Like, the blade itself is like person-sized, and then there's a whole rest of a spear attached to it. Admittedly, it's a bunch of hype for an anti-climax boss fight that's just kind of a weird blob. But that might be just... I think that might have even been intentional too, is this constant whiplash of like what they're going for with the boss fight of like, it's like, oh my god, what kind of horrible nightmare warrior will be facing me behind that door? It's a blob! What? It's a blob. I'm fighting a blob. It's an angry blob. Shoot, it's got pokey bits. And even more so than that, the enemy, the boss itself is the thing inside it's the central blob. And it's called the Phalanx because it's covered in these guys that have spears in the Phalanx formation. But the actual blob itself on the inside can't attack you ever. It doesn't have an attack. It's just a blob that sits there, and that's its whole job, is to sit there. Anyway, let's clear out some of this shit. There's just too much shit on him. Get out of here. Really, the primary reason to use fire on this guy is just a matter of patience, because the fight is gonna take so long otherwise to slowly pick away at all those dudes. Ow. This also speaks to a part of design philosophy of Souls games too, is that it's a fight that requires patience and caution if you want to do it correctly. As a new player, it's basically required, but once you're an experienced player, you know tricks, and those tricks will make the fight significantly shorter. So you're like, oh, I'll hit it with a fire attack, that'll make the fight shorter, and I can throw bombs directly at the enemy, and I can AoE down the dudes, and certain enemies will be more, they'll be more vulnerable to. Like there's so many tricks you pick up from experience that make this fight so much faster than it is when you don't know them yet. Oh, he is healing. I don't remember the reason for that anymore. Is it because he's covered in the blobs and they need to be taken out first? Ow. just try to take out more of the mob real quick. Oopsie. Owie. I'm being a little not cautious right now and just kind of blowing through my health items, but they're... I don't really want to use half moon grass that long, or crescent moon grass, because they suck. So I'm happy to burn through them a bit. There we go, now he's taking damage. But as a new player, you'd have to spend like 20 minutes potentially, like hiding behind pillars and doing what you can to escape damage from this giant onslaught of foes that you have to pick off one by one. But then when you're more used to the game and you know the tricks, you're like, nope, I'm gonna walk in here with 20 fire bombs and it's gonna be over in 30 seconds. Which is kind of what I think is the whole point of magic in these games to an extent. I think when it comes to magic, it's like this impenetrable, nonsensical thing that no one can ever understand the first time around. Because you're like, what items do I need? What NPCs do I need to meet? Where do I find said NPCs? How do I do that NPC's side quest? How do I freaking even get the stats required for the spells? And where do you get the spells? Because the spells are all hidden in like level 3-2 and stuff like that, and level 1-4 and all these nonsensical locations just to get a basic build down. So it's like much like this thing. I think it's just a series of tricks you use to blaze through the game once you know it.
Welcome back. The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the nexus to thee.
You have now passed our test, and we will now explain the game to you, like 2 to 10 hours in, depending on how long it took for you to figure this part out.
The monumental awaits the above. The monumental will explain the nexus to thee.
Right, I have to do that before I level up, I think. Now I gotta make up my mind of like whether or not I want to upgrade this weapon with the sharp stone I found, or if I want to keep it and use this later in the game on a different item. So I don't really know what weapon I want to go with necessarily. But being a Souls game, most stuff is generally valid. I mean, you can beat the game without upgrading your weapon at all, so you can get away with it. But you know, optimization and whatnot. I like how my computer says I'm recording this at 1080-60, which is a lie. The recording might be 1080-60, and the uploaded video might be 1080-60, but this game is firmly not running in 1080 or 60 at all. The monumentals are all dying out. I don't remember if there's like a random item sitting around here. Whoa. Oh, right, this is like the whole underfloor, because this place is so big, with so many dead monumentals, there's multiple floors of them. And I believe every single one of them is dead, and the way, besides their posture, you can tell that via their candles all being out, I think. Ooh. Stone of Ephemeral Eyes is just sitting here. That's the equivalent of humanity. It's needed if you want your health bar back, in particular. Which is one of those things that's really biased in favor of experienced players, because if you're playing this game for the first time, you never have enough of those, and you constantly have low health. But if you're playing it as an experienced player, you'll probably die few enough times that you can just Stone of Ephemeral Eyes every single time, and just play the whole game with full health and never have to wear the cling ring, which I'm realizing I should not be wearing right now, for said reason, which is that my health is not reduced. Fire resistance? Or enemies make you... Let's do the thief ring. I can backstab people with it if I have it equipped. No. No. Fire resistance, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be dealing with the dragon bridge next, so let's go ahead and have that ready. Oh, hey, there's a little icon of a guy with a fluted... the icon for your increased equip load in the corner of the screen there is a guy in fluted armor with an arrow in the top left corner there. He's wearing the same armor. I've got an aura around my character right now. Was that... Is that the flame resistance ring? It is. Oh, that's not the equip load one. That's the flame resistance one. The ring of flame resistance gives you an aura around your character, which makes sense because it's like repelling the flame potentially. And that's also the origin apparently of the weird little man in the corner. That's kind of an uninterpretable icon, isn't it? You know, it's a man in armor and it says an up arrow. You're like, "Oh, okay, so it's more defense, right? Or more equip load or higher burden limit, right?" No, it's fire resist. Excuse me? Hey, come by with me that again? Run that by me again?
We have long awaited you, Slayer of Demons. I am one of the Monumentals. We preserve the fabric of reality. There is something thou needest to know. Once, we too, a scourge of demons faced. In the distant past, under a benevolent rule, the world was united, owing to the soul arts. Until a lust for power caused the awakening of the Old One. Across the land seeped a colorless, deep fog, and the world faced extinction at the hands of the demons. Thanks be, we were able to lull the Old One back to his slumber, yet only after the loss of innumerable souls, and half the world lost, erased by the fog. In order to mend the fabric of what land still remained, we entrusted 6 elders with 6 precious archstones. 1 to the king of a small yet diligent land. 1 to the king of the burrowers underground. 1 to the wise queen of the great ivory tower. 1 to the chieftain of lost and ill-fortuned souls. 1 to the shaman of the tempest-worshipping shadowmen. And the last to the great giants of the northern lands. The archstones were placed at nodes across the earth. We contained the Old One inside this nexus and banned the soul arts. Finally, we became monumentals, half-living sentinels of the fabric of reality. Alas, the other monumentals have perished, and only I remain.
By the power of the Monumentals, the 4 sealed archstones have been released.
Now it is your turn. You must lull the Old One back to its slumber and seal it away for all eternity. If not, the deep fog will absorb all that we know. Have you the strength to accept this mission? Yes, we are fortunate indeed to have you. Now, go forth and destroy every last demon. The Old One, without demons to feed its souls, will a new servant seek and lure you to its bosom. We neutralized the Old One and banned the soul arts. Then we spread the archstones, and in order to mend reality, monumentals we became. However, man's memory of history is o'ershort, and before long he repeated his mistakes. The monumentals perished, and the archstones were long forgotten. And the short-sighted King Alant once again aroused the Old One.
And for the old one's arousal was strong, and it conquered, and the world ended.
The monumentals perished, and the archstones were long forgotten. And the short-sighted King Alant.
Just can't get over the term usage. Like, and King Alant aroused the Old One. I'm like, no, don't say it that way. No, don't do that. I feel like they knocked down that one ledge over there just so that you could have a suicide cliff up there conveniently. Yeah, probably not. It just seems like a weird detail. There's a random destroyed chunk there. It's remarkable how much that description of the world really does sound like Lord of the Rings with the 9 rings of men and the 5 for the dwarves and elves, and I don't remember how many each group got, honestly. I think it was 5, 9, and 7 or something, and then the 1 ring to rule them all. Like it sounds like the intro for the rings sounds like a lot like this game's explanation of the Archstones, except in this game our mission is to go get all the rings instead of just the 1 ring.
Brave soul, who fears not death, prithee, lull the Old One back to its ancient slumber.
Eye stones temporarily connect into the diffused worlds. Should you lose your physical form, remember the Eye Stone. The maiden controls inhuman souls. This power allows her to aid those who slay demons.
What is it? Dost thou seek soul power? So be it. After all, thou requirest strength. Go forth, touch the demon inside me. Let these ownerless souls become thine own. Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let strength be granted so the world might be mended. So the world might be mended.
So there's a few mechanics here that we're not used to seeing in other games. I think drop rate still persists a bit in other games, I'm not sure. But here you see miracle memory. So magic versus miracles, like memory is treated differently, I believe. Dexterity has an explicit makes your falls take less damage mechanic in your stats. And yeah, there's spell memory versus miracle memory. And then MP, of course, your spells actually use MP and you have a specific amount of MP. This varies from game to game. Dark Souls 3 brought back MP, but I think I remember it did. Yeah, because you have the FP flask. It was FP at that point. But Dark Souls 1 and 2, you have spell uses per day, basically, where you have to rest at a bonfire to get them back. Both can have mixed results. And then this is the frustrating thing that they thankfully never brought back ever again. Item burden, which is not equip burden. Equip burden is how much you can carry on your character, like how much you can wear on your character, with various amounts of like rolling and stuff like that. Item burden is how much you can carry on your character's inventory total, and it doesn't affect your behavior in gameplay in any way. It's not like you don't get like overburdened over time and it affects your recharge rate on your stamina the way that equip load can. But your item burden maxing out will mean that you can't pick up any more items, which is infuriating, because some items like the tower shield are monstrously heavy, and there's no warning that they're happening, and the game's not really reminding you that you're running out of equip space or item space. Then you run into like a tower shield that's like, I'm 20 pounds, fuck you, and then you're like, I can't pick it up, and then you get this gamble of like, oh god, I didn't visit Stockpile Thomas, so like I didn't dump my stuff off, so I have too much stuff in my inventory, and you just have to choose which items live and which items die, basically. Because you need to dump some items out of your inventory onto the ground and pick up other items, and then whatever you keep, and whatever you leave, you lose, because when you warp out, the items you leave on the ground will disappear. So it's like, it's brutal.
I remember it happening twice in my original playthrough, because once I encountered the tower shield. I'm like, that seems useful. I don't know if I'll use it, but it seems pretty useful. I'm like, but I can't pick it up. And the other time was I wanted the fluted armor because I found it in the environment because I didn't have it on my starting character. And it's expensive to get an entire armor set on your character, but I could only get it by dropping other shit. I'm like, it's just not fun. It's not fun to worry that much about the weight of every item that you find over the course of a journey, because you just want to be, your explorations want to feel rewarded. Like, ooh, I found this secret place and it's got cool stuff. Like, you don't want to find the secret place with the cool stuff and then find out you can't keep any of it because your inventory is full. And you can't even leave it there. If you open a chest to find a tower shield in it, you can't, like, leave it there and come back for it later, because you already found it. That means it's now an item on the floor as opposed to being in the chest. So it's irreversibly already an item you've acquired, and so you either take it with you or it gets destroyed. You can't come back for it later once you've found it. It's just something to learn from the hard way and fix next time around. I love Demon's Souls. It's like I honestly still rank it near the top in the franchise, not for a bunch of reasons, because I'm just enamored with it. But there's some real dumb shit that they never brought back for good reason, and that's one of the big ones. Let's get that equip burden up. I can actually get a fair number of levels here. Damn.
Art thou done? May thine strength help the world be mended.
Can't do it yet? Nope. Even with all those extra levels. Damn it. How close are we? 35.4 out of 70. Right, we're doing the 50% percentage in this game. That's brutal. That's a way harder goal to achieve. Alright, that's fine. If I just do it like another level, we should be good.
Thou seekest then. As for me, I am only here to tend to the flames. I keep the candles lit and serve the brave demon slayers who are trapped here.
So you see here that before they were ever fire keepers, she's still here to tend the flames. So like that element was already established even back then. There we go. I had the exact number of levels I could buy. I thought it'd stop at 70, but I guess not.
I keep the candles lit and serve the brave demon slayers who are trapped here. I keep the candle out the main.
So they were all about the fire, even back then. Oh, look at him go. Look how graceful he is. And also my roll has a sound effect now, which is nice, because I was getting freaked out about how it seemed to be missing. Ah, yeah. We're one boss fight in, and I'm already doing a fast roll in fluted armor. We are ready to go. Also, I am out of equipment. I'll need to make up my mind about the sword. Let's play a few levels with the unupgraded sword, because they're easy enough, and then I'll see if I find something better by then. We'll see how it goes.